Today's video on Marketing Monday is sort of a picture this. It is a video about why visuals are really vital for mediators' websites. The images on your mediation website, I think, are more important even than the words you use in the text. Visuals play a really critical role in attracting and engaging visitors on your website. And that makes your content a lot easier to digest, and this ultimately drives more inquiries into your services. So whether you're using photographs or infographics, charts, the right imagery can really enhance the user experience, and then of course increase the likelihood of converting website visitors into paying clients. So let's talk about how the visuals really benefit your mediation practice. There's some key strategies to sort of maximize the impact that images have on your site. I think that, it's no secret that images are really important. We are, as a species, visual by nature. There's an old cliche, a picture paints 1,000 words, right? So we want to not disregard that, but pay a lot of attention to it. Studies have shown that content with relevant images is 94% more likely to be viewed than text-only materials. So for mediators, yes, we're generally in that very verbal game, or that narrative text game, but using images strategically can help to establish credibility, build trust, and encourage potential clients to explore more about you and your services. The importance of images in user engagement, I think, can be explained in sort of three main ways, if you will. One, the speed of information processing. The human brain processes visuals much faster than text. Then, of course, there's the emotional impact. Images evoke feelings that can help create a connection with your audience, your visitor. And then there's time efficiency. This is a pretty fast-paced world, and images help the visitors to your site really quickly determine whether or not your content is worth their time. Also, as a fourth point, I think I'd like to add that images also allow for those of us who maybe are dyslexic to determine whether or not the images speak to us before we invest all of the effort into reading the text on your website. So when potential clients land on your website, they're looking for reassurance that they're in the right place, that they're looking at the right professional, that they may be looking for clarity. And images really help to deliver that message a lot faster than text alone. There's a few ways that images can directly influence engagement on your website. Again, faster decision making. Studies suggest that our brains process visuals in as little as 1/10 of a second. Compare that to how much time it would take for us to read a text-only website. And so for busy potential clients, this could make or break them staying on your website to get further information. And then I said, there's an emotional connection that can be made through images. We frequently are working with individuals or clients that are facing emotionally charged disputes, and using images that evoke a sense of calm, cooperation, and resolution. This really, again, helps to establish that emotional connection with the visitor to your website. And it makes them feel a lot more confident in your ability to help them resolve their conflicts. And then visitor attention. Attention spans these days are tiny. All the information we get from videos and social media and web, etc., it's really pushing us to have much shorter attention spans. So having relevant, high-quality images can help to communicate your message much more quickly, and this allows users to sort of scan your content and then decide if your site is, contains the appropriate information. One of the most important goals of your mediation website is to do just that, to engage visitors long enough, encourage them to take action, schedule a consultation, etc. Right? And research shows, those two words back to back get me every time. Research shows that the click-through rates are 47% higher on websites with visuals compared to those without. So for us as mediators, this could be the difference between sort of a casual visitor and a prospective client. So think of your website as an extension of an initial consultation. So when visitors engage with your site through images and content, they're a lot more likely to ask questions, explore your services further, make that phone call, make that initial consultation appointment. The longer they stay, the more likely they are to reach out. So that being said, not all images are created equal, right? You want to choose relevant and on-brand images. So each image that you use, it really should support or enhance, should align with the overall tone of your mediation practice. Stock images are great. We've all seen them. When you see those, you kind of know that they're a stock image. They feel a bit generic, a bit sort of pedestrian. So instead, you want to opt for visuals that really reflect the essence of your services. Now, I know that the stock image websites like Getty Images and Pixel and the images on Canva.com can feel a bit that way. It is really worth the time. If those are the images that you're going to use, invest the time to do a lot of scrolling and really find the image that enhances your site, your message, right? But you can also go with the custom images. Custom images are, professional portraits. You don't have to hire a professional photographer. We all have, smartphones in our hands, and the cameras are really, really good. So find someone to help you shoot some quote unquote professional portraits using a smartphone. You can use these profile pictures, in the about section, for example. You can include images of you engaging with clients in a professional setting. Of course, you don't have to use real clients. Again, call on your friends, your family, colleagues, neighbors, and ask them to, sort of get dressed up as though they were your clients and have them pose for these photographs. It's actually a lot of fun. You can always amp up any of these portrait images by dressing in such a way that your dress complements your brand ID colors. Right? You also want to think about maybe using some positive or collaborative images. These would be photos of people shaking hands or collaborating at a table, engaged in what is obviously positive dialogue. Again, ask your friends, your family, your colleagues to help you with this, but you want images of groups of people working together, right? Teamwork, that's what we're looking for. Then two, you want to also use images that invoke calm and neutrality. Nature is great at doing this for us. So you could use calm waters, you could use, you see people using balanced rocks or serene landscapes. These symbolize kind of peace and balance. You don't want to go too far overboard on those images if they are not reflective of your position in the marketplace, of your practice. But I think minimalistic designs and soothing color palettes reflect neutrality in a stress-free environment. You could also use symbols of resolution. We see a lot of people use, for example, scales of justice. Now, I happen to think that scales of justice are much more appropriate if you're an arbitrator, not a mediator. There's a little disconnect there in that image for me. So if you're an arbitrator, scales of justice. For a mediator, you've seen a lot of people do it. You could do it too, but something like jigsaw puzzle pieces fitting together or bridges. These are the kinds of images that convey problem solving and unity, right? You could use images of agreements being signed or deals being closed. Those are great images. You could also include, if you've got an office space, photos of your actual office or the neutral meeting spaces that showcase where a mediation will occur. If you've got sort of welcoming spaces in your office, you want to be able to show those. They relay professionalism and they let people become comfortable with the setting before they even arrive. There's also images that are, I don't know, sort of thought leadership kind of images. These are infographics that maybe summarize the mediation process or the benefits, not the feature, but the benefits. They could be even photographs of you at speaking events or participating on a panel or conducting a workshop. There's also client-centric imagery. The client-centric imagery are going to be, as an example, testimonials. You don't have to attribute a testimonial. We're neutrals, so you don't want to always say, plaintiff or defense. They could just be unattributed. But a testimonial next to an image or a photo of a smiling person is, again, really powerful. And this doesn't have to be the actual person that gave you the testimonial. This could be a stock image or an image of, like I said, a colleague or a friend. But client-centric imagery, you could also use images that are situations that show empathy or support. It could be an image of you just listening intently to someone speaking. You can also use quotes and highlights in images, or quotes and insights as a highlight on your website. You could overlay an inspirational or a relevant quote about conflict resolution or communication, mediation. You can put that over a nice background. Just be sure that if you're going to layer a quote on top of an image, that the text of the quote is really readable and professional. What other kinds of images? Other images that you could use would be to showcase industry relevance. These would be images that reflect your particular practice areas of specialty. So a business setting or family scenarios or construction projects are three examples that come to mind. And then you and your ideal clients are great images. Again, doesn't have to be a real client, could be your support folks, but use images that feature you engaging with what appear to be your ideal clients. So what you wouldn't want to do, for example, is if you have a pet custody mediation practice, that you would have a very corporate setting, or the same is true if you're doing family and divorce, right? You want to make sure that the images align with your ideal client, right? Something else that we want to talk about when we're talking about use of images is prioritizing high quality images and fast load times. So high quality images are really important for building trust and professionalism, but they should not come at the expense of slow page load times. So you can take your high quality images and compress those images so that they maintain the quality, but then they've got a really fast upload time so that the visitors to your website aren't frustrated by delays. They'll just log off the website. If the images don't load, they just back right up. When you upload, now let me go back. When you save your images, you want to be sure that the file name of the image that you use is descriptive. The search engines, all the big ones, Google, Bing, etc., they scan the World Wide Web, and what they're looking for are appropriate responses to someone's search. So by giving your image the appropriate file name, your name, the name of your practice, what you're doing, who you're doing it for, the process that you're using, etc., it's really important in a file name. So be sure that you rename your image away from that sort of randomized letters and numbers file name and give it a descriptive name. Also, when you upload your images, even in social media sites like LinkedIn, be sure that you provide the alt text. Again, this is the descriptive of the image, your name, the process, the kind of mediation that you're doing, etc. But be sure that you give the alt text description some time and care, because again, the search engines are looking for that archival information about the images so that they can bring them up in a search. The other thing that we want to be aware of is that so many of our prospective clients are looking at our website, searching for us on a mobile device. So anytime someone's on a smartphone or a tablet, you want to make sure that your images are mobile friendly. So if you're building out your own website, or you've got a professional designer to build it for you, double check that your website is responsive and that the images adjust to all of the different screen sizes without losing quality, without having to scroll left, scroll right, scroll up and down, etc. You really want to enhance the experience for your visitors, no matter what kind of device they're on. There's also something that we see frequently. It's an image called a hero image. It's typically the image that is on the top of your homepage. It's the very first visual impression that visitors get when they get to your website. Usually they're large, bold images that really immediately convey the core values of your mediation practice. So again, building trust, building professionalism, all of those kinds of things are conveyed in that home page above the fold image. You could also use infographics. So you could put together an infographic that describes all of the different steps or process points in a mediation. So you could lay out the timeline, for example, that takes people from conflict to resolution, right? So that it's an easy to understand visual of what this long process could be. A flow chart, right? Then there's again, you could talk about client testimonials, show images of satisfied clients, happy clients. You could use charts and graphics. So maybe you've kept data about your rates of resolution success. So show the benefits of mediation, cost effectiveness compared to litigation. That's another kind of chart or graph that you could use, right? And then, I said earlier, professional photos of your office space or your team or mediation sessions, anything that can help humanize your practice and make you appear more approachable is a great image. So visuals, I think visuals, it's important to understand that they're not just the decorative elements of your mediation website. They really are powerful tools for communication. They build emotional connections. They guide visitors toward a next action, right? And so by choosing the right images, optimizing them for performance, aligning them with your brand, you can really significantly boost the engagement and create a much more compelling online presence for yourself. Your website is frequently the first point of contact between you and potential clients. So you want to make sure that every image that you use serves a purpose and contributes, enhances the overall user experience. Now, I stated a couple of statistics during the course of this video, so if you're with me to the end, thank you for that. So let me give attribution. I gave you the stat that 94% of folks are more likely to view image over content. That's from Social Media Today. I gave you also that it takes us 1/10 of a second to process visual images. That's from MIT. And then I said also that 47% higher click-through rate on images being used on a site as opposed to text only, and that's from HubSpot. So again, if you're still with me to the end of the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope this Marketing Monday was helpful. If you have any questions or concerns or issues, or you need more information, please feel free to reach out and let me know. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. Be good humans. Bye-bye.